Settle in now, into the comfort and the quiet of your own space. Let the day begin to fade, like the soft colors of sunset. There is nothing left for you to do, nowhere else you need to be. All that matters is this moment, this breath, and the gentle journey we are about to begin together. You can close your eyes whenever you feel ready, allowing the darkness behind your eyelids to be a soft, welcoming curtain. Tonight, we will not stay here. We will drift away, not in a loud, jarring machine, but in a vessel made of thought and starlight, a craft of pure imagination. It is perfectly safe, perfectly comfortable, designed only for peace and wonder. Imagine this vessel forming around you now. It is not made of metal or glass, but of a soft, shimmering light. It has no hard edges, no cold surfaces. It is warm, and it cradles you like a gentle hand. Inside, you are floating, weightless and serene, supported by a quiet energy that hums with the softest, most soothing frequency. There are no buttons or controls, for this journey is guided by our shared intention, to drift peacefully, to observe quietly, and to feel the deep, resonant calm of the cosmos. We are preparing to leave the familiar behind, but there is no need for apprehension. This is a journey of the mind, a gentle exploration of the grand and silent neighborhood we call our solar system. With each breath you take, feel yourself becoming lighter, breathing in a sense of ease, breathing out a release of all the day's concerns. Inhale calm, exhale tension. You are safe, you are at peace, and you are ready to float away. Our journey begins with a slow, effortless ascent. There is no sudden lurch, no rumbling roar of engines. It is more like a single soap bubble lifting from a wand, silent and graceful. You feel a gentle sense of rising, as if you were a cloud of mist slowly detaching from the ground and beginning to float upwards. Through the translucent walls of your vessel of light, you can see your room, your home, your town slowly and peacefully receding below. The familiar shapes and lights grow smaller, softer, blending into a tapestry of gentle patterns. You rise higher through the thin, wispy clouds of the evening sky. They part for you like soft cotton, and for a moment, you are enveloped in a cool, clean mist before emerging above them. Below you now is a vast, rolling sea of white. The tops of the clouds are illuminated by the last light of the sun or the gentle glow of the moon, creating a landscape of soft peaks and deep, shadowy valleys. It is a world above the world, silent and serene. The sounds of the earth fade away completely. The hum of traffic, the whisper of the wind, the distant calls of life, they all dissolve into a profound and welcoming silence. The only sound is the gentle, rhythmic hum of your own breathing, a steady anchor in this new and tranquil space. As we continue to rise, the sky above transforms. The familiar blue deepens, shifting through indigo and violet into a pure, velvety black. And in that blackness, the stars begin to appear, not as faint, twinkling specks, but as brilliant, steady points of diamond light. There are more of them than you have ever seen, a glittering dust scattered across the infinite canvas of space. You are now in the upper reaches of the atmosphere, that thin, precious layer of air that protects our world. Looking down, you can see it as a delicate, glowing blue line curving around the edge of the planet. It is a halo of life, a fragile, luminous ribbon separating the warmth of home from the cold, clear emptiness of space. And then you are beyond it. You have slipped into the quiet embrace of orbit. Below you, suspended in the blackness, is the Earth. It is a breathtaking marble of swirling white clouds, deep sapphire oceans, and continents painted in shades of brown, green, and gold. You can see the gentle curve of the planet, the clear, sharp line of its horizon against the backdrop of stars. The sunlight catches the oceans, making them glitter. The clouds drift in slow, majestic patterns, driven by winds you can no longer hear. From here, there are no borders, no divisions. There's only one whole, beautiful, and silent world. You float for a while, just watching it turn. You see the line of night, the Terminator slowly creeping across the surface, bringing darkness and rest to one side of the world as the other awakens to light. You see clusters of city lights bloom like golden flowers in the darkness, a testament to the life breathing on the surface below. But we are here to journey outwards, to explore the rest of our cosmic family. With a gentle, unspoken thought, our vessel of light adjusts its course. The Earth begins to shrink, becoming a beautiful blue and white sphere, then a bright, star-like point in the sky. It is our anchor, our home, but for now, we leave it behind as we drift deeper into the solar system. Our first destination is the Earth's constant companion, the silent, watchful moon. The journey is short, a gentle coasting through the empty space between worlds. The moon grows larger in your view, its familiar, friendly face becoming a vast and detailed landscape. It is not the flat, silver disk you see from your window at night. It is a world in its own right, a sphere of soft grays, whites, and deep charcoal shadows. As we draw closer, the silence seems to deepen. The moon is a world of absolute stillness. There is no air to carry sound, no wind to stir the dust. It has been this way for billions of years, a silent observer of the Earth's noisy, vibrant life. Our vessel of light glides just above its surface, low enough to see the incredible detail. The ground is covered in a fine, soft powder called regolith. It is a blanket of dust created by eons of tiny meteorite impacts that softens every edge and curve. We drift over vast, dark plains, the Lunar Maria, or seas. They're not filled with water, but with ancient, solidified lava. They are smooth and dark, like frozen lakes of gray ink. From our vantage point, they look like deep, calm pools of shadow, contrasting with the brighter, more rugged highlands. And then there are the craters. Countless craters, ranging from tiny, bowl-like dimples to vast, sprawling basins hundreds of kilometers across. We do not see them as scars of violence, but as ancient, quiet memories. Each one is a record of an event that happened long ago, a story written in stone and dust. The sunlight, unfiltered by any atmosphere, casts long, sharp, black shadows. The rims of the craters are brilliantly lit, while their floors are plunged into absolute darkness. It creates a stark, beautiful landscape of pure light and pure shadow. It is a world of quiet, dramatic contrasts. We can hover over the edge of a great crater like Tycho, its bright rays of ejected material stretching out like white ribbons across the lunar surface. Or we can drift along the floor of the immense South Polaikin Basin, a place of permanent shadow where the sun has not shone for billions of years, a place of deep, cold, and utter tranquility. From our position above the moon, we can turn and look back, and there, hanging in the black sky, is the Earth. It is a vibrant, dazzling jewel, 4 times larger than the moon appears from Earth. It is a full Earth, a brilliant circle of swirling blue, white, and green, a stark and beautiful contrast to the gray, silent world below us. To see our home from this perspective is to feel a sense of profound connection and wonder. It is a living, breathing world, floating in the vast, quiet emptiness. We linger here for a while, in the profound silence of the moon, watching our beautiful planet turn, feeling the deep peace of this ancient, unchanging landscape. The stillness seeps into you, calming your mind and slowing your breath. There is no hurry. There is only the quiet drift, the soft grays of the moon, and the brilliant blue of home. Leaving the moon's gentle, silent gravity behind, we turn our vessel of light inward toward the heart of our solar system. Our destination is not a planet, but the star that gives life to all of them, the sun. We will not approach too closely, of course. Our journey is one of comfort and peace, and we will observe this magnificent star from a safe and pleasant distance, where its warmth is like that of a cozy fireplace on a cool evening. The space we travel through is not truly empty. It is filled with the solar wind, a constant, invisible stream of particles flowing out from the sun in all directions. We can imagine it as a gentle, silent river, and we are drifting along with its current. As we get closer, the sun ceases to be just a bright point of light. It grows into a magnificent, glowing orb, filling our view with its golden, radiant energy. It is a perfect sphere of roiling, incandescent gas, a powerhouse of unimaginable scale. But from our safe distance, its immense power is transformed into a vision of serene, majestic beauty. We do not see it as a violent, chaotic inferno. Instead, we see it as the steady, beating heart of our solar system. Its surface is a mesmerizing, shifting pattern of bright cells, like the skin of a golden fruit, constantly bubbling and renewing itself in a slow, graceful rhythm. This is the photosphere, the visible surface of the sun. It is a tapestry of light and energy, a dynamic dance that has continued for billions of years. From time to time, we might see a solar flare, a sudden, brilliant flash of light. But from our peaceful vantage point, it is not an explosion. It is a silent, graceful burst of energy, a bright plume that rises from the surface and fades just as quickly. More beautiful still are the solar prominences. These are vast, glowing loops of gas that arc high above the sun's surface, guided by immense magnetic fields. They look like giant, ethereal handles in the golden sphere, or delicate, fiery ribbons dancing in slow motion against the blackness of space. They can last for days or weeks, a slow, silent ballet of light. We can imagine the sheer scale of them, loops of plasma large enough to fit dozens of Earths inside, yet they seem so graceful and gentle from our tranquil observatory. The light radiating from the sun is pure and white, but our minds can filter it into the warm, familiar golds and yellows we associate with sunlight. It is a clean, pure light, and it fills our vessel with a sense of warmth and well-being. This is the source of all the energy that powers our world. It is the light that feeds the plants, that warms the oceans, that drives the weather. It is the light that has guided life on Earth for its entire history. To be here, to witness its steady, unwavering presence, is to feel a connection to the very source of our existence. We float in this river of light, feeling the gentle warmth, watching the slow, majestic dance of the sun's surface. There is no sound, only the overwhelming, silent presence of this star. It is a presence not of power, but of constancy, of stability, of life-giving generosity. It is the anchor around which our entire solar system revolves, a steady, reliable center in the vastness of space. And in its light, we feel a deep and profound sense of peace. Having bathed in the gentle, distant warmth of our star, we allow our vessel of thought to drift a little closer, to visit the innermost planet, Mercury. This small, rocky world orbits the sun in a swift, elliptical path. From our serene vantage point, we can see it as a small, dark sphere, a pinprick against the sun's overwhelming glow. As we approach, its features become clearer. Mercury is a world that looks very much like our own moon. Its surface is a canvas of grayish-brown rock and dust, and it is covered in a multitude of craters. It is an ancient surface telling a story of a long and eventful history. Because it is so close to the sun, Mercury experiences extreme temperatures. But we are in our perfectly comfortable vessel, and we can observe this world without feeling its harshness. We can simply appreciate its stark and quiet beauty. The sunlight here is incredibly intense, more than 10 times brighter than on Earth. This creates a landscape of dazzling highlights and deep, impenetrable shadows, even more pronounced than on the moon. The craters become pools of perfect blackness, and their rims shine with a brilliant, sharp light. We glide over the Caloris Basin, one of the largest impact craters in the entire solar system. It is a vast, circular plain ringed by mountains that were thrown up by the ancient impact. It is so large that if you were to stand in its center, the mountains at its edge would be below the horizon. The floor of the basin is fractured and wrinkled, a testament to the immense forces that shaped it. We see it not as a scar, but as a complex, beautiful pattern, like the ripples on a frozen pond. Mercury rotates very slowly. One day on Mercury, from one sunrise to the next, lasts for 176 Earth days. This slow, leisurely spin gives the planet a calm and unhurried feel. We can imagine what it would be like to stand on its surface, watching the sun move with incredible slowness across the sky. It would rise, grow to a huge size as Mercury makes its closest approach to it, and then seem to pause, move backward for a time, and then resume its slow journey toward the horizon. It is a slow, celestial dance unique to this little world. Because of this slow rotation and lack of a significant atmosphere, the side facing the sun becomes incredibly hot, while the side facing away becomes incredibly cold. But there are places on Mercury that are always in shadow. The floors of some craters near the planet's poles have not seen sunlight for billions of years. In these places of perpetual twilight, scientists have found evidence of water ice preserved in the deep cold. It is a remarkable thought. Pockets of ice hidden away in the shadows of the planet closest to the sun. It speaks to the surprising and wonderful complexity of our solar system. We drift in the silence above this small, cratered world. It is a place of extremes, a world of fire and ice, but from our peaceful perspective, it is a place of quiet solitude. It is the sun's closest companion, forever circling in its swift, silent orbit. We feel its ancientness, its resilience, and the deep, abiding quiet of its rocky, sun-scorched plains. We leave Mercury to its slow, stately dance and continue our journey outward. Our next destination is veiled in mystery, a world shrouded in a thick, impenetrable blanket of clouds. This is Venus, the second planet from the Sun. As we approach, we do not see a surface of rock and craters, but a smooth, featureless sphere of pale, pearly white and soft, buttery yellow. It glows with a gentle, diffused light, reflecting the sunlight from the top of its dense atmosphere. It is a world without sharp edges, a soft-focused planet that seems calm and serene from a distance. Venus is often called Earth's twin because it is similar in size and mass. But its evolution has been very different. Its thick atmosphere has created a runaway greenhouse effect, making its surface the hottest of any planet in the solar system, even hotter than Mercury. But we will not be venturing down to that inhospitable surface. Our journey is one of peace and tranquility, so we will remain here in the upper layers of its atmosphere, where the conditions are surprisingly gentle. Our vessel of light floats effortlessly amidst the highest cloud tops. The clouds are not made of water, like on Earth, but sulfuric acid. Yet from our safe and protected viewpoint, they appear as nothing more than a beautiful, swirling mist. They flow in vast, planet-circling currents driven by high-speed winds. We can see the subtle patterns in the clouds, faint V-shapes, and delicate streaks, all moving in a slow, majestic procession around the planet. We can imagine ourselves drifting with these currents, part of a silent, global river of cloud. The colors are soft and muted, shades of cream, ivory, pale lemon, and soft gray. The light is diffused, as if we are inside a frosted glass lamp. There are no harsh shadows here, only a gentle, even glow that surrounds us in every direction. It is a world of pure atmosphere, a sky without a ground. The winds in the upper atmosphere are fast, circling the planet in just 4 Earth days. But from our perspective, this motion is not a violent gale, but a graceful, sweeping flow. We are part of the flow, moving with it, so we feel no wind at all. We are simply carried along in a silent, effortless glide. It is a deeply calming experience to be suspended in this endless sea of soft, pale cloud. Below us, miles and miles down, lies the surface of Venus, a landscape of volcanoes and crushed rock under an immense, heavy pressure. But we cannot see it, and we do not need to. The mystery of what lies beneath the clouds is part of the planet's allure. It is a secret world, hidden from view by its beautiful, luminous veil. We can simply appreciate the beauty of this veil, this soft, swirling blanket of atmosphere. We can feel the peace of being in a place with no visible horizon, no up or down, just a gentle, all-encompassing glow. Venus rotates incredibly slowly, even slower than Mercury, and it rotates backwards compared to most other planets. A day on Venus is longer than its year. This adds to the sense of a world that is unhurried, a world where time moves differently. We float in its high, golden white clouds, suspended in a moment of timeless peace, before we gently pull away, leaving the veiled planet to its slow, backward waltz, and continue our journey outward, back toward the familiar side of our home, and then beyond. We glide past the orbit of Earth, our beautiful blue and white home, now a bright star behind us, and set our course for the fourth planet, Mars. As we travel, the deep black of space is our constant companion, a quiet, reassuring presence. The stars do not twinkle. They are sharp, steady points of light, a silent audience to our cosmic voyage. Mars, the red planet, begins to grow in our view. It is not a harsh, angry red, but a range of soft, warm, earthy tones: ochre, terracotta, caramel, and rust. It is a world that looks ancient and weathered, like a desert landscape on Earth, but on a planetary scale. As we draw closer, we can see its two tiny, irregularly shaped moons, Phobos and Deimos. They are like small, captured asteroids, tumbling slowly in their orbits. They look like dark, lumpy potatoes, ancient companions to the rusty globe they circle. Our vessel of light descends into a gentle orbit around Mars itself. The planet's atmosphere is very thin, a faint, hazy veil that does little to obscure the surface below. We can see the details of its landscape with remarkable clarity. There are vast, smooth plains and ancient, heavily cratered highlands. The red color comes from iron oxide, rust in the soil. It is a world that has slowly oxidized over billions of years, a planet literally rusting away in the silence of space. One of the most striking features comes into view: the polar ice caps. At both the North and South poles, we see brilliant white sheets of ice, a stunning contrast to the red rock and dust. These are not just water ice, but also frozen carbon dioxide, or dry ice. In the Martian winter, this dry ice frost extends over the landscape, and in the spring, it sublimates, turning directly from a solid into a gas, creating fascinating, spidery patterns on the ground. We drift over the Valles Marineris, a system of canyons that dwarfs any on Earth. If it were on our planet, it would stretch all the way across the United States. But we do not see it as a violent gash in the planet's surface. Instead, we see it as an immense, ancient riverbed, carved not just by water, but by the stretching of the planet's crust. It is a grand, silent testament to a more active past. We can glide deep within its walls, which tower for miles above the canyon floor. The silence here is absolute. The thin air can stir up gentle dust devils, which we can see as slow, swirling columns of red dust, but the wind is a mere whisper, not a roar. We also see the towering figure of Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in the solar system. It is a shield volcano, so vast and with such gentle slopes that if you were standing on its flank, you would not even be able to tell you were on a mountain. Its peak rises high above the thin atmosphere into the near vacuum of space. It has not erupted for millions of years. It is a sleeping giant, a quiet monument to the planet's fiery youth. We see the familiar shapes of dry riverbeds and deltas, evidence that long ago, liquid water flowed across the surface of Mars. The planet was once warmer and wetter, perhaps even with a blue sky and flowing rivers. Now it is a cold, dry desert world, but it is not a dead world. It is a world that is sleeping, holding the memories of its past in its rusty dust and silent canyons. We float above its serene, red landscapes, feeling the profound peace of this quiet, ancient world. It is a place of solitude, a place of memory, and a place of deep, restful calm. Leaving the quiet, rusty landscapes of Mars behind, we continue our outward journey. The next stage takes us through a region of space that is often imagined as a crowded, dangerous field of tumbling rocks. This is the asteroid belt, but the reality is far more peaceful and far more vast. Our vessel of light glides into this region, and at first, nothing seems to have changed. The space around us is still the same deep, velvety black, filled with the steady light of distant stars. The asteroid belt is not a dense gravel pit. The space between each asteroid is immense, millions of kilometers. The chance of accidentally bumping into one is incredibly small. So our journey through it is not a perilous dodge, but a slow, serene passage through a sparse, cosmic garden of ancient stones. After a time, we see one, a small, dark object tumbling slowly in the distance. As we drift closer, we see it is an irregularly shaped rock, perhaps a few kilometers across. It is dark, pitted, and cratered, a survivor from the very beginning of the solar system. It has been drifting here in this slow, silent dance for 4.5 billion years. It is a time capsule, a piece of the original material from which the planets were made. We continue our drift, and soon we see another, and then another. They are all different. Some are potato-shaped, like the moons of Mars. Others are more spherical. Some are dark as coal, rich in carbon. Others are lighter, made of rock and stone. A few are metallic, the shattered cores of ancient, would-be planets that never fully formed. Each one is a world in miniature, with its own history, its own slow, solitary spin. We can approach one of the larger asteroids, like Ceres. Ceres is so large, it is classified as a dwarf planet. It is a spherical world of rock and ice, with mysterious bright spots on its surface that gleam in the faint sunlight. These spots are thought to be salt deposits, left behind by ice that sublimated from the surface. It is a quiet, intriguing world, the undisputed queen of the asteroid belt. We can drift past Vesta, another giant asteroid, which has a massive impact basin at its south pole, a testament to a collision that sent chunks of Vesta flying all the way to Earth as meteorites. But we see it not as a wound, but as a feature of its unique character. Our journey through this belt is like a visit to a vast, silent sculpture garden. The sculptures are the asteroids themselves, carved by eons of slow collisions and the gentle pressure of sunlight. They turn and tumble in a ballet that is choreographed by gravity and has been ongoing since the dawn of time. There is no sound. There is no danger. There is only the slow, majestic procession of these ancient, silent wanderers. It is a place of deep time, a place that connects us to the very origins of our solar system. The sheer emptiness of the asteroid belt is not frightening. It is calming. It is a reminder of the immense scale of space and the peaceful, unhurried nature of the cosmos. We are tiny observers in this vast, quiet place, and the experience fills us with a sense of profound tranquility. We leave the last of the asteroids behind, emerging from the belt and continuing our journey into the realm of the giants. Beyond the asteroid belt, we enter a new part of the solar system, the domain of the gas giants. And the first and greatest of these is Jupiter. The journey to Jupiter is long, but in our vessel of thought, we traverse the distance with ease. The planet begins as a bright, yellowish star, but it grows rapidly, resolving into a colossal, striped sphere that soon fills our entire view. Jupiter is immense, more massive than all the other planets in the solar system combined. Its sheer scale is difficult to comprehend, but from our vantage point, it inspires not fear, but a sense of awe and wonder. The planet has no solid surface. It is a world of gas, primarily hydrogen and helium, that becomes denser and denser the deeper you go. What we see are the tops of its clouds, which are organized into beautiful, distinct bands of color. There are dark bands called belts and light bands called zones that circle the entire planet. The colors are a subtle and beautiful palette of creams, beiges, soft oranges, rusty browns, and pale yellows. These colors come from trace chemicals in the atmosphere, brought up from the warmer interior by powerful currents. The bands move in opposite directions, and at their boundaries, we can see intricate swirls, eddies, and vortices. It is like looking at a planetary-sized work of abstract art, constantly in motion, yet appearing slow and graceful from our perspective. And then we see it, the Great Red Spot. This is a storm, an anticyclone, that has been raging in Jupiter's atmosphere for at least 400 years. It is a vast, oval-shaped vortex, larger than the entire Earth. But from our peaceful observatory, it is not a violent tempest. It is a slow, majestic, turning rows of deep red and orange. We can watch its clouds swirl and fold into one another in a mesmerizing, silent dance. It is an ancient, beautiful feature, a permanent jewel on the face of the giant planet. We can drift along with the cloud tops, feeling a part of this immense, dynamic system. The motion is all around us, but we are in a state of perfect stillness, a quiet observer of the grand, planetary weather. The scale of everything is so vast that even the fastest winds seem to move with a stately, unhurried grace. Jupiter is not just a planet. It is a miniature solar system in its own right, with a faint ring and dozens of moons. We can leave the planet's swirling atmosphere for a moment to visit some of its most fascinating companions. We first approach Io, the innermost of the 4 large Galilean moons. Io is a world unlike any other, painted in dramatic shades of yellow, orange, red, and black. This is due to the constant volcanic activity on its surface. It is the most volcanically active body in the solar system. But we see these volcanoes not as violent explosions, but as gentle plumes of sulfur and sulfur dioxide that rise gracefully for hundreds of kilometers into the thin atmosphere and then fall back down like a slow, colorful snow. Next, we drift outward to Europa. This moon is a stark contrast to Io. Its surface is a smooth, bright white sphere of water ice, crisscrossed by a complex network of long, dark lines. It looks like a white billiard ball that has been sketched upon with a brown pen. These lines are cracks and ridges in the ice, formed by the tidal forces of Jupiter. The most exciting thing about Europa is what lies beneath this icy shell. Scientists believe there is a vast, global ocean of liquid saltwater, kept warm by the same tidal forces that crack the ice. It is a dark, silent ocean, perhaps twice the volume of all of Earth's oceans combined. We can float above Europa's clean, bright surface and imagine that deep, hidden ocean, a place of profound mystery and potential. Further out, we visit Ganymede, the largest moon in the solar system, even larger than the planet Mercury. Its surface is a mixture of old, dark, heavily cratered terrain and younger, lighter, grooved terrain. It is a world with a complex history, a quiet, ancient giant. And finally, we see Callisto, the outermost of the Galilean moons. Its surface is the oldest and most heavily cratered of all, a dark, icy world that has remained largely unchanged for billions of years. It is like a wise, old face covered in the pockmarks of time, holding the stories of the solar system's long history. We leave this grand system behind, the colossal striped planet and its family of diverse and fascinating moons. The experience of Jupiter is one of scale, of grandeur, and of dynamic, colorful beauty. It is a reminder of the incredible variety and complexity that exists within our own solar system. Our journey continues outward to what is perhaps the most beloved and iconic planet in our solar system. As we travel, Jupiter shrinks behind us, becoming once again a bright star. Ahead of us, another point of light grows, resolving into a pale, butterscotch yellow globe, encircled by the most magnificent feature imaginable, the rings of Saturn. Saturn is the second largest planet, another gas giant, similar in composition to Jupiter. But its defining characteristic is its breathtaking system of rings. As we approach, these rings transform from a thin line into a vast, shimmering, translucent disk. They are impossibly wide and incredibly thin, a celestial marvel of perfect proportion. Our vessel of light slows as we reach the edge of the ring system. From here, we can see that the rings are not solid. They are made of countless billions of individual particles of water ice, ranging in size from tiny dust specks to chunks as large as a house. Each one of these particles is its own tiny moonlet, orbiting Saturn in a flat, orderly plane. The sunlight catches these ice particles, making the rings shimmer and glow with a pearly, ethereal light. They are a river of ice, a silent, glittering blizzard, frozen in an eternal, graceful orbit. We can drift into the gaps within the rings like the Cassini division, a wide, dark gap that separates the two brightest rings. Here, in the relative emptiness, we are surrounded by the spectacle. Above us and below us, the rings stretch out to the horizon, a vast, luminous plain of slowly tumbling ice. It is like being inside a snow globe the size of a world. There is no sound, only the slow, silent dance of these trillions of tiny, sparkling motes. It is an experience of overwhelming beauty and profound peace. The rings are not a chaotic mess. They are highly structured, with thousands of individual ringlets and gaps, sculpted by the gravitational pull of Saturn's many moons. We can see faint, spiral patterns, like the grooves in a vinyl record, evidence of these subtle gravitational interactions. It is a system of immense complexity, yet it appears as a vision of simple, perfect harmony. Looking toward the planet itself, we see a world that is calmer in appearance than Jupiter. Its colors are more subdued, pale yellows, golds, and creams, blended into soft, subtle bands. It has storms and high-speed winds, even faster than Jupiter's, but its features are veiled by a thicker layer of haze, giving the planet a serene, almost placid appearance. It is a gentle giant, adorned with the most exquisite jewelry in the cosmos. Like Jupiter, Saturn has a large and fascinating family of moons. We can pull away from the glorious rings to visit a few of them. We drift towards Titan, Saturn's largest moon, and the second largest in the solar system. Titan is unique because it has a thick, dense atmosphere, even thicker than Earth's. But this atmosphere is not transparent. It is a thick, orange-brown haze, completely obscuring the surface from view. It gives Titan the appearance of a smooth, featureless, tangerine-colored ball. We can imagine what lies beneath that haze, a world of extreme cold, with rivers, lakes, and seas not of water, but of liquid methane and ethane. A landscape with mountains of water ice and dunes of organic particles. It is a strange, yet strangely familiar world, a dark mirror to our own. Next, we visit the small, bright moon Enceladus. This moon looks like a pristine snowball, covered in fresh, clean ice. But it holds a spectacular secret. From its south pole, great plumes of water ice and vapor erupt continuously into space, like giant, silent geysers. These plumes feed one of Saturn's outer rings, the E-ring. Enceladus, like Europa, is thought to have a liquid water ocean beneath its icy crust. To see these bright fountains spraying into the blackness of space is a truly magical sight. They are plumes of life-giving water, a promise of hidden wonders. We can drift through this gentle, icy spray, feeling the fine mist of ancient water on our imaginary vessel. Leaving Saturn is like leaving a magnificent, celestial palace. We look back one last time at the pale, golden globe and its shimmering, silver rings, a sight of unparalleled grace and beauty. It is a memory of perfect form, of silent, glittering light that will stay with us as we continue our journey into the deep, dark, outer reaches of the solar system. Our voyage now takes us into the far, cold, and lonely depths of the outer solar system. The sun, from this immense distance, has shrunk to the size of a very bright but distant star. Its warmth is now just a faint memory, and the space around us is darker and colder than ever before. But our vessel of light keeps us perfectly comfortable, and the darkness is not empty, but filled with the calm, steady light of the Milky Way. Our next destination is Uranus, the seventh planet. It is a world that is fundamentally different from the gas giants we have just left. It is an ice giant. As we approach, it resolves into a sphere of the most delicate, beautiful color. It is a soft, pale aquamarine blue, a serene cyan, like a tropical sea on a calm, overcast day. The planet is almost completely featureless. There are no dramatic bands, no swirling storms, no great red spot. It is a smooth, placid, blue-green ball, exuding an aura of profound and undisturbed calm. This uniform color is due to methane in its atmosphere, which absorbs red light and reflects blue and green. The lack of features is because its atmosphere is incredibly cold, and there is less internal heat to drive the kind of dramatic weather we see on Jupiter and Saturn. It is a quiet world, a planet of deep tranquility. Perhaps the most unusual thing about Uranus is its tilt. While most planets spin like tops as they orbit the Sun, Uranus is tilted on its side by almost 98 degrees. It is as if the planet was knocked over by a giant impact long ago, and it now rolls along on its side as it orbits the Sun. This extreme tilt leads to the most bizarre seasons in the solar system. For a quarter of its long, 84-year orbit, one pole faces the Sun continuously, while the other is plunged into a decades-long polar night. Then, as it continues its journey, the situation slowly reverses. We can imagine what it would be like to be at one of its poles, experiencing a day that lasts for 21 years, followed by a night of equal length. It is a world of extreme, slow, and predictable change. We have arrived at a time when the Sun is shining almost directly over the planet's equator, so we can see the whole planet lit in a gentle, even glow. We can also see its faint system of rings. Unlike Saturn's bright, icy rings, the rings of Uranus are dark and narrow, made of material as black as charcoal. They are like delicate, dark pencil lines drawn around the planet's equator. They are subtle and mysterious, difficult to see, adding to the planet's quiet and enigmatic nature. Uranus also has a family of moons, named not after figures from Greek and Roman mythology, but after characters from the works of Shakespeare and Alexander Pope. We can see them as small, icy points of light circling the planet's equator, and therefore moving in a plane that is almost perpendicular to the plane of the solar system. They are a family of worlds, all on their side, dancing a unique, tilted ballet around their serene, blue-green parent. We float in the silence near this calm, sideways world. Its gentle color, its lack of dramatic features, and its slow, rolling motion all contribute to a feeling of deep peace. It is a world that seems to be resting, taking a long, quiet nap as it continues its endless journey around the distant Sun. We leave the tranquil, tilted world of Uranus behind and push even further into the cold, dark expanse. Our final planetary destination is Neptune, the eighth and farthest known planet from the Sun. The light here is very faint, about 900 times dimmer than on Earth. The Sun is just a brilliant, distant star, providing little light and almost no warmth. The space is filled with a deep, profound twilight. As Neptune grows in our view, we are struck by its color. It is a deep, rich, vibrant azure blue, a more intense and striking blue than the pale cyan of Uranus. This deep blue color, also caused by methane in its atmosphere, gives the planet a sense of depth and mystery, like the deepest parts of Earth's oceans. It is a world of profound, beautiful blue. Unlike the placid Uranus, Neptune has a dynamic and active atmosphere. We can see faint, bright clouds of methane ice, which whip around the planet at incredible speeds. Neptune has the fastest winds in the solar system, reaching speeds of over 2,000 kilometers per hour. But in the utter silence of space, these supersonic winds are completely unheard. We see their effects as graceful, white streaks like wisps of cirrus clouds, moving swiftly across the planet's deep blue face. They do not disturb the profound sense of peace. They simply add a touch of delicate, moving detail to the scene. For a time, when the Voyager 2 spacecraft flew by, Neptune had a large, dark storm system, similar to Jupiter's Great Red Spot, which was named the Great Dark Spot. But when the Hubble Space Telescope looked later, it was gone. These storms seemed to form and dissipate over a matter of years or decades. Perhaps as we drift by, we can see a new one forming, a dark, swirling eddy in the deep blue clouds, a temporary feature on the face of this distant, dynamic world. Like the other giant planets, Neptune has a system of faint, dark rings. They are clumpy and incomplete, more like arcs than full rings, a subtle and delicate feature against the blackness of space. And it has a fascinating large moon, Triton. We can adjust our course to fly by this strange and distant world. Triton is unique because it orbits Neptune in a retrograde direction, meaning it orbits backwards compared to the planet's spin. This suggests it is a captured object, a wanderer from the outer solar system that was ensnared by Neptune's gravity long ago. Its surface is a bizarre and wonderful landscape of frozen nitrogen, water ice, and dark, dusty deposits. And it is geologically active. We can see dark plumes rising from its surface. These are not hot volcanoes like on Io, but cryovolcanoes or cold volcanoes. They are geysers of nitrogen gas and dust, erupting from the sun-warmed icy surface into the thin, frigid atmosphere. They look like dark, smoky trails being blown sideways by the faint wind. Floating near Neptune, the last great sentinel of the planetary system, we feel a sense of immense distance and solitude. We are truly on the edge of the familiar. The planet's deep blue color is mesmerizing and calming. It is a world of deep cold, deep silence, and deep beauty. It is a fitting final stop on our tour of the planets, a place of profound and peaceful mystery at the edge of the dark. Our journey is not quite over. We have visited all the planets, but the solar system extends far beyond the orbit of Neptune. We now drift into a vast, icy realm known as the Kuiper Belt. This is a region similar to the asteroid belt, but far larger and more massive, a wide, sparse disk of countless icy bodies, the frozen remnants from the formation of the solar system. It is a place of deep cold and even deeper silence. The sun is now just the brightest star in a sky crowded with the brilliant, unfamiliar constellations of deep space. The objects here are far apart, just as in the asteroid belt, so our passage is slow, safe, and serene. These are the trans-Neptunian objects, worlds that have been locked in a deep freeze for billions of years. After a long, quiet drift through this sparse, icy wilderness, we approach the most famous resident of the Kuiper Belt, the dwarf planet Pluto. Pluto was once considered the ninth planet, and though its classification has changed, its allure has not. As we draw near, we see that it is not just a single world, but a binary system. Pluto and its largest moon, Charon, are locked in a tidal embrace, always showing the same face to each other as they perform a slow, silent dance around a common point in space. Pluto's surface is a world of surprising complexity and beauty. We see vast plains, towering mountains, and a varied palette of colors, from pale whites and yellows to soft pinks and deep reds. The most prominent feature is a large, bright, heart-shaped region named Tombaugh Regio. It is a vast, smooth plain of frozen nitrogen, a glacier that is constantly, slowly churning and renewing itself. It is a perfect, pale heart on the surface of this distant, tiny world, a symbol of unexpected warmth in the coldest reaches of our solar system. The mountains we see are not made of rock, but of water ice as hard as granite in the extreme cold. They rise majestically from the edge of the nitrogen plains, their peaks catching the faint, distant sunlight. We see an atmosphere, a thin, bluish haze of nitrogen and methane that stretches far out into space, a delicate, glowing halo around this small, cold world. Charon, its companion, is a world of its own, with a dramatically different surface of gray water ice and a mysterious, dark red polar cap. Together, they're a double world, a pair of ancient companions, dancing alone in the vast, quiet dark. We have reached the edge of our solar system. From here, we can look back and see the entire system laid out before us. The planets are gone, resolved back into star-like points of light, indistinguishable from the background of the Milky Way, except for the faint, steady glow of the sun. Our home, our neighborhood, is now just a tiny, quiet corner of the galaxy. The vastness of space stretches out before us, an infinite sea of stars and galaxies. It is not an empty void, but a place of incredible richness and beauty, a place of profound peace. It is time now to begin our journey home, but we do not rush. We simply allow our vessel of light to turn, and with a gentle intention, we begin to drift back through the icy expanse of the Kuiper Belt, past the deep blue of Neptune and the serene cyan of Uranus. We glide past the glorious rings of Saturn and the colossal, striped face of Jupiter. We cross the quiet, sparse garden of the asteroid belt and float by the rusty, sleeping world of Mars. The familiar, brilliant blue and white marble of Earth grows larger and larger in our view, welcoming us back. The journey has been long, but in the realm of thought, it has taken but a moment. We approach our home planet, seeing the continents and oceans take shape once more. We see the soft blanket of clouds, and we sink gently through them. The thin, blue line of the atmosphere embraces us, welcoming us home. Our vessel of light, which has carried us so safely and so far, begins to dissolve. The shimmering walls fade away, and you are no longer floating in the blackness of space, but in the comfortable darkness of your room. You feel the gentle weight of your body again, the softness of your bed, the warmth of your blankets. The profound silence of space is replaced by the quiet, familiar sounds of your own peaceful surroundings. The journey is complete. You have traveled to the edges of the solar system and returned, all without ever leaving the safety and comfort of your bed. You have witnessed the grandeur of the cosmos, the silent dance of planets and moons, the majestic beauty of stars and rings. And now, you have brought that sense of peace, that sense of vast, quiet calm, back with you. Let the memory of the journey be a soft, soothing balm for your mind. Remember the silence of the moon, the gentle warmth of the sun, the swirling, painted clouds of Jupiter, and the shimmering, icy rings of Saturn. These images of peace and beauty are yours to keep. Let them carry you now into a deep and restful sleep. With each breath, feel the calm of deep space filling you. With each exhalation, let go of any remaining thoughts. There is only the quiet, the dark, and the gentle pull of sleep. The stars will continue their silent watch. The planets will continue their graceful orbits. And you can rest, knowing you are a part of this vast, beautiful, and peaceful universe. Sleep now. Sleep deeply. And may your dreams be as peaceful as a slow drift through a field of silent, sleeping stars.